Have you ever wondered, how does your morning cup of coffee contribute to the loss of our world's forests? A provocative question, isn't it? But the reality is, our everyday consumer habits, from that aromatic cup of Java to the paper we print on, are intrinsically linked to the deforestation that is rapidly eating away at our planet's green lungs. And it's not just about losing trees. It's about losing entire ecosystems, and with them, the indigenous communities who have been their stewards for generations. Deforestation is not a local issue, confined to a single country or continent. It's a global crisis, one that threatens biodiversity, contributes to climate change, and disrupts the lives of millions. So, the next time you sip your coffee or jot down a note, remember, these everyday acts have far-reaching consequences. The crisis is real, and it's closer to home than you might think. But amidst this looming crisis, there are unsung heroes fighting to protect our forests. These heroes are the indigenous communities that have been the custodians of the world's forests for generations. Their survival is deeply intertwined with the health of our forests, and their knowledge and practices have ensured the sustainability of these precious ecosystems for centuries. These communities, spread across the globe from the Amazon to the Congo, from the Arctic to the deserts of Australia, have a profound connection to the forest that is both spiritual and practical. They see themselves as part of the forest, not separate from it. Their cultures, traditions, and livelihoods are rooted in the forest and its resources. For instance, consider their traditional practices of sustainable forest management. These practices are based on a deep understanding of the forest ecosystem, honed over generations. They know when to harvest and when to let the forest regenerate. They know how to use fire responsibly to prevent larger wildfires and promote new growth, a practice that has been lost in much of the modern world. They understand the importance of biodiversity, maintaining a balance between different species to ensure the overall health of the forest. Their practices are guided by respect for the forest and an understanding of their role as its caretakers. They don't take more than they need, and they ensure that they give back to the forest, not just take from it. This is a far cry from the destructive practices of deforestation seen elsewhere, driven by short-term gain with little regard for long-term sustainability. Yet these communities often find themselves on the front lines of the fight against deforestation, standing up to powerful interests who see the forest as a resource to be exploited, not a vital ecosystem to be protected. They face enormous challenges, but they continue to fight, driven by their deep connection to the forest and their commitment to its survival. Indigenous communities, our first and perhaps our best line of defense against deforestation. Their knowledge, their practices, and their courage are an inspiration to us all, and a reminder of our collective responsibility to protect our planet's forests. Let's look at an example: the Kayapo tribe, a community that lives in the heart of the Amazon rainforest in Brazil. Tucked away in the lush greenery of the Amazon rainforest, the Kayapo tribe has been a stalwart guardian of the forest for generations. Their intimate knowledge of the ecosystem, passed down through countless generations, has become their most potent weapon in the fight against deforestation. The Kayapo tribe has been instrumental in halting the rampant deforestation that threatens the Amazon. This indigenous community has shown that traditional knowledge and sustainable practices can be combined effectively to protect their ancestral land. Their deep-rooted respect for the forest has led them to develop sustainable farming practices that support their community while preserving the ecosystem's integrity. From shifting cultivation, where plots of land are used for a few years then left to regenerate, to agroforestry, where crops are grown under the forest canopy, these practices ensure the forest's vitality while providing sustenance for the tribe. This way, they maintain a harmonious balance with the forest, taking only what they need and giving the land time to heal and regenerate. But the Kayapo tribe's efforts extend beyond traditional practices. In this modern era, they have also leveraged technology to protect the forest. Using satellite imagery and GPS tracking, they can monitor their land, detect illegal logging activities, and take swift action to prevent further damage. In their hands, this blend of ancient wisdom and modern technology becomes a powerful tool for conservation. Their success is a testament to their resilience and dedication, proving that indigenous communities, with their deep understanding and connection to the land, are indeed the forest's best guardians. Their ongoing battle against deforestation is not just for their survival, but for the survival of the entire planet. After all, the Amazon rainforest, often referred to as the lungs of the earth, plays a critical role in maintaining our global climate. The Kayapo tribe, a beacon of hope in the heart of the Amazon. Now let's take you to Borneo, home to the Penan tribe. Nestled within the heart of Southeast Asia, the Penan people have harmoniously coexisted with the rainforest for centuries. As traditional hunter-gatherers, their lifestyle is intrinsically entwined with nature, living off the land and giving back to it in equal measure. The Penans' deep reverence for the forest is evident in their sustainable approach to hunting and gathering. They take only what they need, ensuring the forest's bounty can replenish itself for future generations. This symbiotic relationship has not only sustained the Penan people, but also helped preserve the fragile ecosystem of the Bornean rainforest. However, the tranquility of this forest-dwelling tribe has been disrupted by the encroaching threat of deforestation. Logging companies, driven by the promise of profit, have sought to exploit Borneo's rich timber resources, often at the expense of the Penan's ancestral lands. But the Penan are not a people easily silenced. They have risen to the challenge, standing as steadfast guardians of their home. They have staged blockades, physically placing themselves between the loggers and the trees, in a brave display of resistance against the destruction of their sacred forest. Their fight extends beyond the physical, as they also wage a legal battle for their land rights. Despite the odds stacked against them, the Penan persist, advocating for the recognition and respect of their traditional territories. They understand that their survival and the survival of the rainforest are one and the same. The Penan tribe's story is a testament to the power of indigenous knowledge and traditional practices in preserving our environment. Their struggles and triumphs serve as a poignant reminder of the crucial role indigenous communities play in combating deforestation and indeed in safeguarding the health of our planet. The Penan tribe, showing us that sometimes the old ways are the best ways. These indigenous communities are not just protecting the forests, they are also preserving a wealth of knowledge. Imagine holding in your hands a book that's been written over thousands of years, a book that contains secrets of the natural world, passed down through generations. This is the power of indigenous knowledge. It's an intricate web of understanding and respect for the land and its creatures. It's a guide on how to live sustainably, in harmony with nature. Indigenous communities have long been the guardians of this knowledge. They understand the rhythms of the forests, the dance of the seasons, and the whispers of the wind. They know when to plant and when to harvest, which plants heal and which ones harm. They know the songs of the birds and the paths of the rivers. This knowledge is not just a collection of facts and figures, it's a deep spiritual bond with the earth. But for too long, this wisdom has been overlooked, even dismissed by the wider world. It's been seen as primitive or less valid than Western scientific knowledge. This is a grave mistake. Indigenous knowledge is a treasure trove of information that can help us combat the twin crises of biodiversity loss and climate change. Take, for instance, the practice of agroforestry. Indigenous communities have been using this method for centuries, planting a variety of crops together to improve soil health and biodiversity. Modern science is just catching up, realizing the benefits of this ancient practice. Or consider the knowledge indigenous communities have about fire management. They know how to use fire strategically to renew the landscape and prevent larger, uncontrolled fires. This wisdom could be invaluable in areas facing increasing wildfires due to climate change. It's high time that we recognized and respected this knowledge. We need to listen to the voices of indigenous communities, to learn from their wisdom. We need to involve them in our strategies for conservation and climate action. Indigenous knowledge, a crucial weapon in our fight against deforestation and climate change. So, what can we learn from these communities? We can learn a great deal from the indigenous communities who are on the front line of the battle against deforestation. They teach us that the earth is not a resource to be exploited, but a home to be cherished. They show us that sustainable living is not only possible, but also deeply rewarding. Their knowledge, honed over centuries, is a powerful tool in the struggle to preserve our planet's precious forests. By respecting their rights and supporting their efforts, we can help to safeguard these vital ecosystems for future generations. But our role doesn't stop there. By adopting more sustainable habits in our own lives, we can reduce the demand for products that drive deforestation. This could be as simple as choosing certified sustainable wood and paper products, or reducing our meat consumption. Remember, every choice we make has an impact. Let's make it a positive one